Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Be More Institute event of 2021. We'll be discussing today raising equity for property development. I've got here with me the founder and CEO of Muma Group and the Be More Institute, who's Dandy Matamela. But before we go into that, so that everybody knows that they're here for the right event, today is all about property. And how we're going to be running this program is to structure it in such a way that you guys know, number one, what we're going to tell you. Then we're going to tell you what we're going to tell you, having different speakers come to the fore, speak to you about how it is that they interact with the Be More Institute and how they help people raise equity. And lastly, we're going to have some testimonials from a few people that already have projects and how it is that the raising equity element is going to assist them in their projects and how it might assist you out there. Importantly, today we're speaking about raising equity. Section 12J is a mechanism that SARS instituted in about 2009 to assist anybody who wanted to invest and perhaps didn't have the ready-made funds to use their tax as a way and a mechanism of investing in property. And that's what today is essentially all about. So the focus will be mostly on student accommodation, but we will delve into other elements of property development as well. And so without further ado, we're going to be playing an intro video about the Muma Group, and you guys can get a sense as to how it is that the Muma Group came to being and all the elements that have built it around, so that today we have a full pendulum of the Be More Institute. So without further ado, we're going to be playing the first video, and then after that, I'll introduce you guys formally to Mr. Dandy Matamela, who's the CEO and founder of the Muma Group. 100%. So what you guys saw there is a bit of a teaser. It's one of the projects that the Be More Institute and the Muma Group have assisted in getting to, can I say, the final stages. We're going to be discussing that with an entrepreneur that actually developed the project. What we'll also do is delve into another project that has also been done. A lady by the name of Patricia will be joining us. So you'll be getting testimonials. This is not just a theoretical presentation. You're going to get real people with real projects on the ground. But Mr. Matamela, I suppose this is a good time for me to say welcome to your own show, in essence. and secondly, more than anything else, perhaps take us through who Be More Institute is, who the Muma Group is, and how all the different elements come together. And even before we get too deep into all the details, what today is really about for you guys as an institution.
Thank you, Mr. Mtapo. And greetings to everyone, and thank you for joining us. It's really quite a great honor to have everyone. More than anything, the reason why we're here, it's really to present the Be More vision, which is a vertically integrated strategy in the property development space. So literally talking about the whole value chain in property, from training people to consulting, for instance, to helping people who already have projects, and including ourselves. So it's not really just about other people, but we believe so much that you grow by helping others. You will see in the video that we've prepared as well in our presentation what exactly we mean. So we have a whole vertically integrated value chain that really talks to the issues of property development. So someone comes, they create a new problem coming to us, or to any other professional for that matter, to say, listen, I want to do a development. They've just created a new problem. What is that? There is consulting, for instance. People come, they don't really know where to start, for instance. So we're able to take people in, help them, link them up with people where we might be short we solved the first problem.
Mm.
Then the second problem, of course, now they have projects, and the biggest, we did a research last year just to find out what are the greatest needs. We have, over the last few years, 24 months, so to say, trained at least 140 entrepreneurs with a mere 56% success rate in that regard. But the biggest impediment is the issue of raising equity. So we thought, before we do anything for this year, let us just deal with this big issue here, equity. It's easier to get funding for the loan portion, for instance. It's easier to get funding for debt. Almost everyone would want you to have, say, a deposit and all of that. And that is probably the biggest issue that we've been grappling with. Most of the people that we've been assisting are grappling with. And we're hoping that today we can start a conversation regarding that.
Okay, so to take you back just a little bit, because as somebody who's so steeped in the industry, you tend to forget that some of our viewers might not have the privilege of understanding the debt and the equity portions that you're speaking about. So what I'm getting from this is that the Be More Institute has got an element of training where you allow people to come through the program.
Yes.
And they trained on which elements do you train them on? What kind of training do you provide, and what kind of does it have any accreditation?
Oh, yes. It's quite interesting, actually, that we just received our accreditation, CITA accredited. So it's Muma Investments has CITA accreditation. We offer 3 courses on entrepreneurship, venture creation, and also real estate, NKF level 4. All of them are really built for entrepreneurs, designed by entrepreneurs, and for entrepreneurs. So we've partnered with entrepreneurs all over the country in our sphere of influence to really teach the training. But here is what's interesting about programs that are designed or learning from the entrepreneurs, is that entrepreneurs, they don't teach, they do, and you just follow. And that's what we do. Much of the success that we've done is not so much of the theoretical framework and all of that. It's on the doing. And yes, I hope I answered your question.
Well, my understanding is that when you guys do the training, you're not only training people who want to invest in property and become property developers themselves, but there's a real estate element to it. Can they graduate and get an NQA level 4, become real estate agents afterwards? I'm always interested in the elements of what's really practical and real. You find many courses that say, do this course online or come and join us, but when the individual is done with the course, there's nothing they can really show for it. So that's really key to get across.
Yeah, indeed, yes, you're right. The ultimate, if we give an example, or in fact, all our trainings, you do get, say, your NKF level, either NKF level 2, NKF level 4. But the real estate one, the ultimate is for one to become what we now call principal agent. Principal agent is the equivalent of what you see with the big guys, your CF, your Palm Golding, and all of that. So. Yeah. We are there to say we would like to empower you into getting into that, but we offer the training part of it. With the new bill that has just been gazetted of what we now call Property Practitioners Bill, it's really about that, to say let's get people, particularly in the transformation space, where we really need to start to see black people, historically disadvantaged individuals, entering into a much protected property space. So that's really what we are about, empowerment, helping others, and help ourselves as well grow in the process.
So what's interesting about what I know about Muma Investments and the Be More Group is that you guys have your own developments that you've done.
Yes.
So you haven't just taken a program and put it together and say, go through this and then, all for the best. How many developments have you guys done so far or helped people with? I know this is a bit of off the cuff, but then just give us an idea as to, the kind of people that you've helped in the past.
Look, we as it is, as Muma Investments, our current portfolio, mainly in student accommodation, it's sitting at about 150 million. We want to grow that to 1 billion by 2023. That means we're left with 2 years. We also appointed an independent consulting company just to do a due diligence on us to see whether this deal or this idea of getting to 1 billion by 2023 is still viable. That was in 2019, and they found out that we're growing at a rate of 42%. That's really a good rate, but we're going to miss our goal by at least another 4 years. We're going to hit that 2023 that billion rand by 2027. So and if you look at 150 million versus 1 billion rand after 7 years, we had this goal back in 2013. It's a 15%. If you get 15% at school, you're flunked.
Yeah, you're not getting your matric certificate.
But what's interesting is, in the process, the projects or the people that we have facilitated in the process, it's well over 1 billion. That's by assisting other people either to start their own project, get projects here and there, and you will see in the different presentation and the videos that we have. And I think that, if you ask me, it's a lot more satisfying than.
So if I might just double click on that one. So it's about 1 billion rand that you've helped people with in total, with value of projects, but you're sitting about 150 million rand with an ambition to get to 1 billion rand of your own stock type of thing. What's been the major stumbling block when it comes to projects and going ahead? I'm leading you into a question here because today is all about raising equity. Perhaps you should just double click on that one and say how it is that this equity is going to be raised.
Yeah. Once you have solved the issue of creating an opportunity, or what we call value creation, your next big problem is the funding. Now, there are ample of financiers, and we have been fortunate. Muma Investments, for instance, is one of the few companies under the Gauteng Partnership Fund, Empowerment Fund.
Yep.
And they've been great. They've carried us by the hand since inception with our first development and our second, and they're still supporting us. They created some programs as well for empowerment with mentors and all of that. Maybe I got carried away.
No, that's all right. No, it's you're quite right with that. But then it also then obviously leads to how it is that the GPF has assisted with funding. They provide a portion of the funding.
Yes. Now I remember where I was going. Sorry. So the challenge, I think the question was, what has been the challenge? The challenge is always comes in when now you need to put in your equity. So the financiers like the idea of skin in the game. So in other words, what are you putting? What are you bringing? We can give you all the money, but if you don't pay anything, you won't take this thing seriously.
So in essence, what you're talking about there is that the institutional funders could say easily to you that we'll fund up to 90% of the project,
Yes.
but that you must raise the 10%.
Yes.
The 10%, let's take a 150 million rand project, for instance, you'd have to come up with 15 million rand by yourself,
Yes.
even if you've got a viable project.
Yes.
And that 15 million rand gap, or that 10% that you need to raise, that's where the equity raising discussion happens.
Yes.
Right. How does Muma assist with that in BMI? Who have you partnered with, or
So what we have done, and like I said, I think maybe let me start just a step back to say the programs that we have now, whether it's BMI as a training program or what we now call the Joseph Company, which is aimed at helping to raise equity.
Yes.
It's things that evolved from the basic need that we knew as Muma we needed to have. So that as an issue that we had to deal with, we then created what we now call the Joseph Company. The Joseph Company, for today, for instance, we're having this event in partnership with at least 3 companies that deal specifically with helping to raise equity. So whether someone has a project or they have money, they want to invest in property and all of that, because as Muma, we don't take people's investments.
Yeah.
We don't have those kind of capabilities. But the Joseph Company, as a technical partner of some of our partners include Impact Investment Africa. There's Chris Hart here amongst our guests, and he will be talking about Section 12J investment, where you can invest in property through tax. When I learned that, trust me, it was like, wow, you can do that. And I said, people have been doing that for a long time. I'm
So
like,
it's
really?
2009, eh?
You know, I learned about these 2 years ago.
Section
And I
12J.
jumped straight into it,
Yeah.
and we have had some great success. This will be the next round that we're having. Last year, we had very good success with them as well. So that's on the one part. We also have partnered with the Furo Capital. Furo Capital, they also specialize in gap funding. They are able to bring both debt and equity from the conversation. But I don't want to steal all of that from them.
Yeah.
Then we also have partnered with Venetia Capital. Venetia Capital, these guys, let's talk, trust me, I've worked with them, and they have managed to help us get funding just recently in our recent acquisitions. And you will be surprised. There are people who just know
Which
how
doors
to
to knock
knock.
on
No,
and
no,
open the
it's like
doors.
a whole new game. So there are people who just know how to knock,
Yeah.
and there are people who know how to open.
Yeah.
And the moment you mix some of these two things, you're missing it. So I've met some incredible people, and I'm hoping that they would share some of their experiences and how they would really help in this huge outcry. This is not a Muma problem. This is a societal problem. This is a problem that I believe if we can solve the equity problem, we would have solved the economy, particularly in the housing sector in this country.
Excellent stuff. All right, cool. So you've sort of done an intro of the people who are going to come and speak as well. So as I promised you, we told you what we're going to tell you. We're telling you what is coming down the menu. And lastly, we're going to have a few people that give testimonies about the projects that they've gone through and how Muma Group has assisted them. So without further ado, I'm going to ask Dandy to go into a presentation so you guys can get a better sense of what it is that the entire group has entails. And then Dandy, as the presentation goes by, you'll just like cue everyone as to which slide you're on, and then perhaps you can take it away. Presentation.
As I said, Muma is the one that gave birth to everything you see today.
Yeah.
It started in 2006, really as a design and build company. So we're designing and building houses for middle income earners.
Yeah.
In Pulukwani, we started back there. And we did our first development back in 2017. Funded by business partners. I know that some of our colleagues from business partners are here. But back then in 2006, I was only 26 years old, 24 years old actually when we got that deal. So 17 townhouses, and we grew from there, from one form of just doing designing and building to now constructing to getting a job. And at that time, I became the CEO, the youngest CEO of a social housing company in 2008. Of course, that was during recession, so things were not going very well on your own. So, but that's really where I learned much of the things, particularly regarding housing and social housing and all of that. So it's really what gave birth to what we now have as a fully integrated compendium of companies.
And I like what you're saying. So as we go there, as the slides go past, because the people at home watching these things can then follow. So this is slide 2, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Perhaps speak to the slides as we go along. That way the viewers can follow the conversation at the same time we.
Yes. So
So today, obviously, is the section 12J. The focus will be on that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So as I said, it was Muma who gave birth, say, to your Joseph company, and Muma that gave birth to what we now called BMI, and also your POMAT, Property Management.
Okay.
So Be More Institute, more than anything, like I said, it evolved from the credibility that came with Muma and its needs. And we started just by helping others back in the days where we would really just meet someone who says, hey, would like to do what you're doing as well. So what can we do? And we would hold people by the hand, and until we ended up formalizing our training program, for instance. And we managed to get CITA accredited in 2019 for both entrepreneurship, venture creation, and real estate. And then really it's a mean feat in that we are now able to get a backing of to give some sort of credibility to what we are doing, and it's really incredible. So that's the 3 programs that we have: new venture creation, NKF level 2 and NKF level 4, and real estate.
It's a good thing that we've got Numisa here as well to be on the other side and help us move through the slides as you speak through this thing.
But I think more than anything, if I can just zoom in, say, to BMI, our vision really to be a global thought leader in entrepreneurship, particularly within the real estate value chain. So every single thing that we do, it's related
Around that, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
To property. And what really stands out with BMI is that it's not just a training institution.
Yeah.
It's a digital innovation. Our value proposition, or our unique value proposition, is really our learner management system. With our learner management system, you are able to literally study at your own pace from anywhere in the world, interface with your lecturers, your training facilitators, do your assignments online and all of that. And it's really on top of its value chain as it is, and it's something that I believe sets us apart. And it's practical. Like I said, it's about entrepreneurs for entrepreneurs.
Okay.
So I've already told you about just our business strategy, or
where it is that you guys want to move to in the next, by 2023 at least, billion rand company and value chain across the board, from training, equity raising, developing projects, and obviously partnerships with different people.
Yes.
All right.
Yes. So that in one slide, it's talking about that.
All right.
To say from training to all of that, we can pass this one as well.
Structure of the group, I suppose. Because you've got related and unrelated businesses that fall within the group as well.
Yes, yes. So on the one hand, you have really the things that are related to property, from professional services that we offer, architectural services, project management, development consulting, and all of that. Then on the other side, which is unrelated, it's things that have nothing at all whatsoever to do with property.
Yeah.
And we have 2 COOs who are managing all of those. And in between, you have this training arm, for instance, that is able to do to almost give the kind of strategic business support, including your strategic business unit that we have, say, in the middle to help.
All right, no, understood.
Yes.
So as we move on, so Muma's got like a few related companies. The Be More Institute focuses on the training element.
Yes.
You've got the Joseph Company, which is the focus of today, which focuses on raising equity.
Equity, yes.
And then in between that, how you segue between the training and the equity is that people can find their own projects, which you guys will always assist them with. Sometimes even partner with people who want to have their own student development programs. Thereafter, you get to a point where the development is done with the construction, and then you've got the property management element of it, which then speaks to the Pomet group and how Pomet comes into the picture to assist with the property management. So it's literally the whole value chain.
Well captured.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mr. Dandy Matamela, I'm going to thank you very much for your presentation.